Hi everyone, it's Grace with Grace Kids Gastric, and it's not quite time yet for another weekly update, but you can see I look kind of human today. This was the first day post-op that I really kind of got dressed up and put on makeup, and that was because I had, I had some other stuff going on in the afternoon, but this morning I had my first ever in-person weight loss surgery support group. So my program, they have a monthly support group, meets every second Saturday, and so this is the first one I attended. They're open, of course, pre-op. I just never attended, so I wasn't really sure what to expect, and it was pretty cool. It was really big. There were like 20-30 people there. It's probably more closer to 30. It's quite a lot of people, and most of them were older, but we had a big range, lots of VSG and RNY surgeries, you know, ranging from, I was the newest with the less than 2 weeks out, and we had people who were years out. So it's just, oops, sorry. So I'm trying to drink some water. But just a great mix of people. And one of the topic today was goals. So I was talking about sort of what you were proud of that you accomplished last year, and sort of what are your goals for the next year. Kind of focusing on SMART goals, different areas, which made me think about, I mean, I have lots of little mini goals, you know, hitting my hydration, my macros, my protein. I want to start working out once I'm cleared, or, I mean, I've already been walking, but I was, you know, if I want to join like a class. Anyways, I have lots of different goals related to health and fitness. But like my big goals are losing weight, right? That's why I got the surgery. I want to lose weight. And so I thought it would be a good idea to maybe make a video talking about my specific weight loss goals. Now, this is really going to be focusing on the numbers, the actual, you know, pounds lost. I have, of course, there are all kinds of NSVs I'd love to achieve, but I always felt a little bit, I don't know, I guess you never know, really, right? Like, there are some NSVs that I hope and expect to hit, things like, you know, being able to wrap a towel around myself, a regular towel, and not needing to use seatbelt extenders and sitting in a chair with arms and having that not hurt. But there are so many other things. Everyone's body's different, right? So there might be things I'm hoping for. You know, I know people who've lost a lot of weight, who are at a low weight, and their collarbones still don't really pop just because of their body type. So I don't want to be like looking forward to that and then have that not happen, even if I lose a lot of weight, and then have that discourage me and that mental thing. So I'm really thinking about NSVs. I mean, those are what I'm actually like the most excited about, discovering those, but I don't really want to set goals around them just because I think that could get me into a bad mental state. But weight is a little bit different. I have sort of 10 milestones, we'll call them weight milestones, and the number one is getting into a normal BMI. So to be perfectly honest, I'm not entirely sure that I actually want to get all the way down there. The number seems really low to me. So these are all kind of 10 milestones, but keeping in mind that like my personal goal is actually not necessarily that last number. It's just something I think I'll evaluate as I get closer and closer to it. So we can just get started. This is going to be, all my videos are long. I'm trying to keep them short, you guys, but I just have opinions on everything and lots to say. Sorry. Okay, so my first milestone, my first goal is, so number 10, I guess, is to get to 299.9 pounds. So that's really to break 300. I can't remember the last time I was below 300 pounds. I definitely was at some point in high school, because we'll get to why I know that in a minute. But I've never been someone who's really consistent with weighing. I think that's pretty common with a lot of heavy people who just, I know I'm fat, didn't need to know how fat I was. But I think it's definitely interesting seeing, like, I don't think I thought I had gained as much weight since high school as I have. And I think because I haven't really tracked it, and for I think all through college, I wasn't seeing a regular doctor. So I didn't even have those yearly annual weights. It wasn't until my first year post-college, post-graduating, that I had my real weight. And that was around 330, and I've stayed pretty close to that for the past 4 years or so. So yeah, my first one is to break 300 to get to that 299. My next one is going to be to get to 285.5 pounds. And that will be to, that will put me at 25% of my excess body weight lost. So out of all of the weight, my excess body weight from when I'm considered normal, 285.5 means I'll have lost 25% of that excess body weight. My next one is to get to 261. And that is because that is the weight that is on my driver's license. So that's why I know I was in the 200s in high school, because I have not updated that weight since I got my license when I was 16. So I was 261, or, you know, in that range when I got my license. I might have even been heavier because, you know, everyone edits that. But that means, I mean, I was, yeah, 261 when I was 16. I'd like to get to that weight on my license. The one after that is 254 pounds, and that will be 100 pounds lost since my highest weight of 354. So 254, I actually think that that is maybe a little bit, it's hard to know. So you'll notice I do that a lot too, is I'll start sentences and then just sort of stop them. I hit this 254 during my pre-op process, right before I started the medically supervised weight loss diet. I do want to note that most of my appointments were like first thing in the morning before I'd really eaten. I weigh first thing in the morning before I eat. And this one was done in the afternoon after I'd had quite a few meals. I do think the number was a little inflated, but that doesn't mean that I haven't gotten up to that. And it was a number on the scale, but that's just something to keep in mind. I don't know that I was ever like, that I was necessarily consistently at 254 at that point. I think I was probably in the 240s, but I'm counting 254. So anyways, 354, not 254. That would be lovely, actually. 254, 100 pounds lost since my highest weight. So 254, that was, the next one is to get to 247 pounds, and that will be 50% of my excess body weight lost. After that, my next goal is going to be 219 pounds, and 219 pounds will be 100 pounds lost since my weight day of surgery. So 219, 100 pounds lost in surgery. After that, we'll get 205.5, and that will be 75% of my excess body weight lost. And then the next goal is 199, Wonderland, which is such an interesting term. I honestly, I was a child the last time I was under 200. I have zero recollection of that. And that is really kind of my main goal. So it's really between this one, the 199, and my next one, which is 177, half of my highest weight. So that means if I get to 177, I'll have lost half of myself from my highest weight, which would be crazy. So I think just based on, I'm 5'8". I do have like a fairly broad frame. My bones are a little bit dense. I mean, this is something my surgeon and my doctors have mentioned. I have heavier bones. From what I've seen of other people who have kind of my height, my frame, who've lost weight, what seems like a really like attractive, healthy weight on them is kind of between like 180 to 200 in that kind of range. So I'm sort of aiming for that range. So really anything between 177, half of me, and 199, I think that's where my sweet spot's going to be. But honestly, I just won't know until I get there. So we'll see. I'm not doing like a hard and fast, I want to hit this weight necessarily, just because I have never been anything other than like obese. Not even just a little bit overweight. I mean, I'm sure maybe when I was a kid, I was overweight as a kid, but I mean, I've always been obese. I've always been significantly overweight. It's honestly hard to imagine me not being overweight. We'll see what this journey has in store for me. But it's definitely going to be interesting just because, I have no frame of reference, no concept of what I might look like, what's healthy for me. Just based on how long I've been overweight, I can't imagine I won't have serious skin issues. I do have a bit of a hanging stomach. You know, my arms are pretty big. I already have a little, this is also not my arm. This is, so just FYI. I already feel like I have almost loose skin in my arms. Or maybe it's just like flab, who knows? You know, my back's pretty not great either. I just think that I'm going to need surgery all around plastics afterwards. So that's also going to be like contributing to weight, right? I mean, I would guess I'll probably end up with at least 10 pounds of excess skin, if not more. So like that's something to consider whatever point I get to. And then I can finally I should mention, I guess, my final weight goal. And this is really my stretch goal. And I'm going to reevaluate when I get closer to it if it's actually something I want to go for. But that would be 164. And that will be 100% of my excess body weight lost and a normal BMI. The thought of being 164 pounds is just insane to me. Yeah, it's just, there are no words, there are no thoughts. I can't imagine it. So, I feel I can't imagine I'd get to that point and not look like a crazy emaciated person either. So, that's something I'll reevaluate. But yeah, those are my weight loss goals, specifically again to the actual weight numbers. Like I said, I have these kind of 10 milestones. I think it's cool to have these milestones so that there are things that I can look forward to and get excited. It kind of breaks that weight loss into more manageable chunks. And I do plan on doing something a little bit fun for myself when I hit each of these goals. What that fun thing will be, I'm still kind of deciding. I think that will be kind of a spur of a moment, but I do want to kind of reward myself. One of my things I really want to work on this next year is self-care. Just taking time out for me and doing, little things like getting my nails done or, even, meditating. Just, I'm thinking about new things because I want to work on reducing stress. I want to work on, taking care of myself and being kind to myself, especially, with all the craziness that this next year has in store. I do have one big, goal. So that's kind of when I hit once I hit maintenance, whatever point I decide maintenance is when I get there, I gotta have a big goal, and that is to travel to Machu Picchu. So I want to go to Peru. I love travel, and easing that is a really big part of why I wanted to get this surgery. I actually can talk a little bit more about that. I might in a later video, just sort of that motivation aspect. But one of my degrees is in Spanish. I studied abroad in Chile for 6 months when I was in college. And I'm losing a little bit of my Spanish, which makes me really sad. But while I was in South America, I did a little bit of traveling. One place I really wanted to go and did not was to Peru, to look at Machu Picchu, to see those ruins. And I did not, partially because it was just, I didn't have a lot of money because I was a broke college student, but mostly because of my weight. I think I'm also deathly afraid of heights, and especially with my weight, I'm slightly clumsy, and I think partially because of that weight, I knew I wouldn't be able to go up all those stairs. I'd be petrified with the heights. I just knew that it wasn't something that I would be able to fully enjoy, and I want to be able to enjoy things like that. And there again, I can talk more about ways that my weight has and has not held me back. There have been ruins that I've climbed all over, panting and disgusting and looking like I'd just gone through a rain shower, but it was just sweat. But I think the combination of just like the narrowness of those steps, how many there are, the heights, I knew that would not be something I could do. And I wasn't going to spend all that money and be miserable and not enjoy this beautiful and majestic, breathtaking sight. So that is my main goal reward. It's something I've always wanted to do. I just love to travel. My hope is to do that in 2019. So we'll see if I can get there by then. That'll be about a year and a half out is probably the earliest I would go. So I'm hoping I'll be able to kind of get to these points by then, but we'll see. So yeah, this video is already a little bit long, and it's just me talking about the weights I want to hit, but I did want to kind of have a video officially talking about those milestones, those goals, put that out into the world, because I do want to hit them, and I'm excited, and yeah, I'm already so close to my first one, 299. I started weighing every day, and I am now at, I think I'm like at 306 or something. So I think I'm gonna hit it by the end of the month. That's my goal. Hit that first milestone, $2.99, by the end of January. Let's do it. All right, I'm going to go now, but I will talk to you guys all on Tuesday after I have my diet advancement class. Bye.